Good morning, Singapore. Welcome to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. It's Glenn, Angel, FD, and Shaun. And since it's a Tuesday, we have once again with us Dr. Geraldine Tan from the Therapy Room.
Yeah, and if you're wondering why the Christmas music, then you'll have to watch us on The Big Show TV on 1FM 91.3's Facebook page.
Everyone's in a Christmas mood right now, you know? Just, 11 days to Christmas, right?
11 days to Christmas.
And it'll just be here like that.
So fast.
And then it'll go.
Like
and then
that.
we're done.
Yeah.
And then we'll wait for next year.
And
So
it's
depressing.
And it's our last week, right?
Yes.
With Jerry as well, because we're all going to take a 2-week break, except Angel, of course, who already had her 2-week break.
That's true. That is true, yes.
So she'll be right here with all of you, keeping you guys fantastic company.
Yeah. Good morning, Jerry.
Good morning. I had to join the party.
Yes.
Antlers are falling.
You're like Jerry the red-nosed reindeer.
Yeah, just me a red nose now.
That's cute. I've never seen that before. The antlers,
The red
The
antlers.
soft ones.
yeah.
Yeah,
The
they're
soft
nice.
antlers. We like them. We're coming to your office to take your antlers.
No. Seriously?
Yeah, like FDs. Oh, be quiet. Like FDs. Nonsense.
Well, speaking of reindeers and Santa Claus and everything else, today we're talking about imaginary friends, fairy tales, and Santa.
Yes, we are. I thought I'll end with something that is a little bit educational, but full of fun today, just to end on a lighter note.
Oh, fantastic. Love it.
I think imaginary friends are really important.
That's only because you had one as a child.
Yeah, I had one.
What was his name?
It wasn't a he.
Oh, what was her name?
It was a she. Okay, my name is Mark Anthony Van Kylenberg. And believe it or not, growing up as a very young child, before I went to school, I had a nickname. And my nickname was Annie.
Oh, okay.
Okay, sounding creepy already.
Yeah, for some reason, my family had taken Anthony and changed it into Annie.
Okay.
So I was
Oh.
Annie. Annie do
Okay.
this, Annie do that, Annie do whatever.
All right.
And I created this friend, Annie,
Okay.
that I would play with and talk to, and
But
tell
Annie
her-
was supposed to be you. Does it mean you had a split personality?
No.
I suppose
no.
it was kind of the alter ego that she
I-
was somebody completely separate from you.
I don't think it was an alter ego. It was a friend of mine. It was someone I could, confide in when
She.
she was someone I
Where-
could confide in when I got angry with mom and dad.
Where's Annie now?
Oh, Annie left a long time ago.
did she? Okay,
yeah.
where'd she go?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I think Colombia. She's a
Colombia.
drug lord now.
No, she's not in that nothing town that you spoke about yesterday.
No,
You see what I mean, Jerry? How unhealthy is this? That he had an imaginary friend named Annie. And he would ask Annie, talk to Annie, ask Annie for maybe advice.
No,
If
no.
Annie said go kill someone, he would have killed somebody.
No, I would.
That's
talk-
a split personality.
No,
That's different.
We would. Annie and I would play house. Annie and I would play cowboys and Indians. If I was upset with mom or dad, I would tell Annie about it. Annie would not give me advice. Annie was like a sounding board.
Okay. Okay.
She was like a sounding
Yep.
board. And
Okay.
I
So
think,
she would lend you an ear.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And a shoulder.
Yeah, and you got to remember that my brother at that point was 6 years older than me, so he was in a completely different world. His thought processes were different.
I'm sure he didn't have an imaginary friend.
I don't
He
know.
didn't
Yeah,
need
real
to
life.
have.
But
real
I
friends.
found it hard to communicate with someone who was 6 years older than
Was
me.
she like the sister you never had?
Kinda.
Okay.
Kinda. Yeah, kinda.
And what do you have to say about that,
Oh.
Dr. Jerry?
How old
How
were you?
old were you? FD?
I probably 4, 5.
She's therapizing you right now, you know,
I
right?
was about 4, 5.
Oh,
But
no.
But once I went to school and I built my friend base, Annie slowly moved into the background, and then Annie
Right.
disappeared.
Okay.
Yeah, Annie was kind of replaced by my school friends.
And developmentally, that's the correct age. Even the primary school, if you have the imaginary friends, that's perfectly fine. So imaginary friends help us to figure out what to say to another person, because it doesn't mean that we know how or what to say in social context or so socialization, play. I think FD was talking about play,
Yeah,
how to play.
Yeah.
What kind of play? So the child learns how to practice all these skills in his head. So it's really just prepping, practicing, and then when you have your friends, the imaginary friend goes away.
Okay.
Because as a child also, I think, and I this is something for parents to look out for. My playtime as a young child with other children was weekends with my cousins. But Monday to Friday, I didn't have that.
You didn't have friends.
So Annie was my company.
So what if Annie never went away, Dr. Jerry?
I'm sure
there are cases where
maybe even now, FD, when you're feeling a bit lonely, you
call out to Annie?
No, but I have learned to speak to myself.
Oh, okay. All right.
I've learned to speak to myself.
Okay, let's talk a little bit more when we go on to the Big Show TV. If you want to join us, it's on our Facebook page, 1FM 913.
Meantime, here are the Backstreet Boys. I Want It That Way on the Big Show, 1FM 91.3.
It's interesting that Angel brought up the situation of Annie not going away, because Hui Fang says, is it okay for the imaginary friend to be with us even when we're grown up?
No, so our imaginary friend should go away, after a period of time. They are there at that particular developmental stage to teach us certain things, to encourage creativity, to encourage us to imagine, to encourage us to practice certain skills that we haven't quite got a grasp on. So after a while, this friend have already lost its job. It's done its job.
Right.
Okay.
So if you're an adult and
very
you still have an
distracted
imaginary
again.
friend, all you need to do is just give Dr. Geraldine Tan a call
At the
therapy room.
Jerry, I understand what you say by you're very distracted from by Glenn. He
Why?
does look like a villain from the Marvel universe.
He looks
Yeah.
like
He looks
low budget
like
Loki.
Low budget Loki.
Low budget Loki. He's low-key low budget.
Hey, we want to thank our producer, Shalini Susan, for
Yeah.
providing us
Yours.
with all
Where's
this.
yours,
Where's
Charlotte?
yours?
Oh, am I wearing yours?
She forgot about herself.
Oh, she'll bring hers tomorrow.
Okay.
Tomorrow we'll have one
Okay.
camera just for her, and then she has to stand there and look like this.
Okay, so adults should not have imaginary friends, right?
Is that true?
It depends. We have creativity, we have imagination, and that was what that is what the imaginary friend is there for, to cultivate that, you see. If we don't have creativity, we will not have the four of you here who are such lovely and jovial people. They can come up with anything on the spot.
Can I ask something, Dr. Jerry? I mean, we when we make decisions, we all have inner voices. We all have
Yes.
voices in our head, metaphorically speaking, that we listen to and help us make decisions and stuff like that. How different is that from having an imaginary friend?
So, as adults, these are not called imaginary friends. These are our imagination, our creativity. A friend is really a friend. You call the friend by a name. That person has a form. That person has a voice. That person, interacts with you. But your creativity and your imagination doesn't interact with you as an adult, or should not. So if you have a dissociative disorder, or you have schizophrenia, or you have hallucinations, psychosis, these figures actually interact with you. So you see these people talking to another person.
Okay.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. Yeah, it is. But when I was a kid, Annie had a form.
Yeah,
I mean-
so that's
Yep.
why she was your imaginary friend.
So that was okay, right?
What was she
what
wearing?
did, what did she
Yeah.
look like?
She looked,
Miniskirt?
no.
She was 5 years old, yeah.
5 years old, for
He
goodness
was
sakes.
tiny. I can't imagine you at 5.
No,
Yeah, man.
scrawny
I'm just
little
imagining a very
yeah.
small FD. It's like a small.
scrawny little rat. But Annie looked like Alice in Wonderland.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alice in Wonderland.
That
Wow.
whole the dress with the frilly skirt. And,
That's
yeah.
probably
From a book you saw.
that's
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
from
yeah.
a book. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that where we get the images of our imaginary friends, from things we've seen?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
So all our environment informs us, and we create those figures in our head. Yeah, but I think kids need imaginary friends. I mean, some kids need, because for you, Annie listened to you, supported you, played with you. I think one thing very important
She
to
played
note
with
is
you.
sometimes
How?
Yeah, you sing
To play-
Indians
we play
and
games.
cowboys
We
and
play
stuff
cowboys
like that.
and yeah. You play with them.
So I have a question, Dr. Jerry. When does it become dangerous to have an imaginary friend? And what's the difference between having an imaginary friend and schizophrenia?
And also, can we blame our imaginary friends for like...
Yeah, there you go. For things that
Yeah,
happen.
like my mother scolded me and said, no, actually Annie told me to do one.
Okay, that's good. That's taking it a bit far. Wow.
No. Actually, some of the kids do. So when
really?
that happens, then we would not permit that to continue. As in, we will not permit the behavior to continue, because they are not taking responsibility of their own behavior, and they're saying, "Oh, someone else did it," but this time the someone else is that imaginary friend. So the imaginary friend is supposed to be someone that is non-judgmental. Someone that is there unconditionally and belongs to the child. Okay?
Like
That means
Chucky.
it's that child's
Yeah, boy. Like Annie wrote.
Right.
But Dr. Jerry, you said like Shaun was saying, blame the imaginary friend for something that's happened and stuff like that. And you said that shouldn't be done. But to the child, the imaginary friend is a real friend.
Yes.
So I
Yes.
mean, blaming the real friend is okay according to the kid, right?
But that shows, okay, if the child is unable to distinguish a real and a fake world, then that's where we need to teach them, right?
FD,
If
did
the
you know that
child-
Annie wasn't real?
Annie was someone I would play with, but Annie Annie wasn't part of my everyday world.
Okay.
Annie was part of my play world.
And only when you were alone.
Yeah, it was my play world.
She was not like standing next to you.
No.
You weren't holding hands when you went out.
Well, for example, no. But for example, Frida has come up and said my eldest daughter had an imaginary friend. This imaginary friend would appear always around 6+7 in the evening. And one day, my daughter pointed out behind me in the corner, "There's my friend. She's come to play."
I'm telling you,
no!
that's a spirit.
This is exactly how the Conjuring started.
Exactly.
This
Yes,
is
I
a
was
scene,
thinking the
yeah.
same
Is
thing.
it
No.
kind of like that
Yeah.
thing standing
That
behind
right
you?
there. You notice I'm not looking at Santa now. But
Wow.
what do you say to that? There's my friend. She's come to play.
Get an exorcist.
Oh my god!
Straight away.
priest. The spirit of Christ compels you.
If the child wants to tell you about it, I would listen. I would talk to the child. How does your friend look like? What's she wearing today? What she's saying. Just go along with the friend.
I can't see her
go
face.
along with your
Her hair is
child.
covering her face.
You're looking down,
Wearing a
black coming
white
out of her
dress.
mouth.
She has
Hold on.
no footwear.
Okay, we're traffic. Stand by.
Oh.
Point 3 traffic.
As my imaginary friend comes out of the television set, you've got the usual delays across the expressways. We know that for
It's
sure.
Christmas, not Halloween.
Exactly. Look out for the PIE towards Tuas, an accident before Jalan Bahar, congestion to the KJE. Please stay within the speed limit. Make sure you've got everyone buckled up. Be safe as you drive today.
We're back right here on The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Our guest for this morning is Dr. Geraldine Tan from the therapy room, and we're talking about something, something. It's been a fun conversation,
Yeah,
right?
sure, yeah.
But it's also serious because some people really do have imaginary friends,
Yes.
like the Flying Dutchman, for
Yes.
example.
Yeah.
So
Had.
imaginary friends is what we're talking about this morning.
Yeah. So Jerry, you said the parents can ask questions about the imaginary friend, describing, what's your friend wearing, what does she look like, blah blah. But the parents is it okay for the parents to engage that friend?
Oh my goodness.
No,
What?
right?
Should we let-
You don't engage it.
Should we lay the
No,
table
because
for this person as well?
No, it belongs to the child, and the child can do whatever they want with that imaginary friend. So if they want to introduce the friend to you, you're probably a very trusted adult in that
Right.
environment. So I would go along with it, with the child and not with the friend. I would not try and engage the friend.
And
Okay.
how far should this be taken? Like meal time, play time. How much should the parents allow for this imaginary friend to be involved?
So parents can put in boundary. Very, very good question, Angel. Parents can put in boundary where, I think, your friend needs to remain in the play world, just like what FD did, right? The child, the friend remains in that play world. And they don't join us for meals or anything like that, but they can join you, as in the child, later on when they're on their own.
So it could be confined to like the bedroom with the kid
Can.
or the
Yeah.
playroom.
And, well, it's confined to their imagination. It's not just confined to a
So
space.
right? Okay.
Because
Is-
sometimes the child might be in trouble, and this friend is a source of comfort. So you want that source of comfort to be brought everywhere.
Right. Okay.
I've always questioned this in my life when I think about Annie, and I go back to, and I do think about that time. Is an imaginary friend like that created because of loneliness?
Sometimes it is, and if it is and the parents realize it, then we need to try and help the child or understand why the child needed it. So sometimes they are very socially awkward. They don't know how to interact with people or their peers in the real world, so they create their own alternate world to play in. It could be trauma. So sometimes an event can traumatize a child that they retreat into an alternate world. So that would be not so good. I mean, yes, it comforts the child, but it's not so good because it's born out of trauma. And if we allow it to persist, they don't know how to come out and deal with things in the real world.
So not being able to deal with the real world is one of the signs of when a child should take, or when a parent should take their child in for help. What
Yes,
other
yes.
signs do I look for?
I think Angel was also asking earlier, when does it become dangerous?
Yeah.
So after a certain age, right? You see someone gesticulating or someone talking into the air, and you're suspecting, hey, the person doesn't have earbuds, or they're really talking on to the air. You might want to check in if they have a mental health issue.
See,
Okay.
it's so complicated,
It's
I mean,
very
these days, okay, I don't know. If I had a kid who had an imaginary friend, I would not encourage it. I would go up to the kid and ask the kid to snap out of it straight away.
Oh dear.
Yeah,
Really, I
parents
would do
would do
that.
that.
That's how.
Is that what you
because
do?
that's how I was. I mean, I would have been treated if I were a kid.
Your
back in the
parents would
day,
have done
just
that.
like FD, right?
Yeah, yeah,
if my mom was FD's mom at that time, and he was talking about Annie, my mom would probably go like, snap out of it right now. If not, I'll admit you to Woodbridge Hospital.
I think a lot of
Yeah.
parents,
Back in the day,
would
right?
do that,
In the
yes.
60s, for example.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah?
we're speaking to Dr. Jerry. If you want to join us, you can join us on the Big Show TV. It is Glenn, Angel, FD, Shaun, and Annie here on this Tuesday.
I bet you Annie is still here.
I think so. I think
Yeah.
so. I do see him
He's just
mumbling to
not
himself
admitting
once in a
to
while.
that.
Yeah.
Hey,
She's
yeah.
standing.
Hey, see,
she's
she's
standing
right there.
behind our producer Shalini right now. Yeah.
And
Anyway,
leave her alone.
here's Pink with A Million Dreams on the Big Show, 1FM 91.3.
So mean.
Annie, come here and sit here.
There, sit on my lap. Wait, does Annie grow up or is she still 5?
Yeah. So do these characters or these imaginary friends grow up with you, or do they remain at that age?
They
I don't-
remain
yeah.
as
They
remain
a
as a-
figure.
Oh, wow, that's scary.
You
then.
started
Yeah.
at
Started,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, but how do we know, right? It depends, right? I mean,
That's
it
true.
depends.
You
like,
can create them into anything
yeah,
you
maybe
want, right?
in FD's mind, she's already grown up as well.
And she's wearing a
not. She's
miniskirt
not
this
seen.
time.
He's not seen her for many years now, right?
Oh my goodness.
But,
What would she
but
look
she's
like
grown
now?
up
I
as
have
well.
no idea.
Oh, he's gonna start thinking about it now.
See, now you got me going. Now you got me going.
Okay, so
Everyone that has an imaginary friend will start imagining now.
Yeah.
I guess to add on a little bit more about when should parents pay attention. I, I think when the imaginary friend starts to tell the kid very cynical things or become very malicious or talks down to the child. If Annie started to be mean to FD, perhaps we're going to stop this friend from coming and visiting.
But where
Right.
does this come from? That comes from FD's character, doesn't it? I mean, it's him talking.
That's his mental
Yeah.
state.
You know what I mean?
yes.
It is kind of like this second personality,
Yeah.
almost schizophrenic. So it is actually in reality, it's FD controlling what she says as well, or it's his inner thought.
Yeah, but
right?
it's like you said, it's schizophrenic, right? So that's when I really need therapy.
And
when
that's
this
why,
child is
and that's why I say, Jerry, I wouldn't encourage it because it might lead to something, and then there'll be an issue, right? Because just like friends in real life, you've got good friends and you've got bad
toxic
company.
ones, yeah.
So why encourage it?
I think it's no different from a soft toy, just that one doesn't have a physical, like tangible form,
yes.
right? So you have soft toys talking to each other. The child controls what comes out of their mouths and interacts, right? But in this case, it is an imaginary friend, and you're interacting with that persona. So we want to encourage imaginative play, unstructured play. Through all these play, children develop problem-solving skills also. So we want to encourage that. It's only when it gets into a space that is very dark, then we want to stop it.
So FD was okay. Sorry, FD was saying that his Annie was based off Alice in Wonderland, sort of
That's what I
physical,
saw. Yeah, what I
physical
saw.
being. What are the purpose of fairy tales? I mean,
I love fairy tales. Do you have a favorite fairy tale? Like, what are all your favorite fairy
The
tales?
three Billy Goats Gruff. That's my
yeah.
favorite.
Yeah.
Fairy tale?
Because there's a troll that lived under the bridge.
Yeah.
Favorite fairy tale. Wow.
Wow. There's so many.
Alice in Wonderland was nice. I suppose Sleeping Beauty,
My time,
Cinderella.
Disney time already.
Yeah,
so,
the
like,
Disney, all the
Aladdin.
princesses that became actual princesses and met their prince.
Yeah, I tend to agree with Sean. Mine would have been Aladdin.
My Aladdin, because Robin Williams was in it and I wanted to be a comedian.
Oh, right, nice, okay. Glenn doesn't watch fairy tales, so don't ask him.
Oh, you
don't
mean
watch
the
animated
three
shows.
Billy Goats Gruff is not a fairy tale?
I guess it
Okay.
is.
It is.
It's a fable more so,
Sleeping
right?
Beauty, then.
Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah, Sleeping
Okay.
Beauty.
Okay.
I mean, if we think about all the different fairy tales, right? They give us hope. They give us a lot of different values. They teach us different values. I like the Three Billy Goats graph because there's a lot of teaching points from there. Yeah, and sometimes the imaginary friends are born out from all these different stories. So like Annie, when you describe Annie, she's a picture of joy, she's a picture of innocence, and I really want to interact with her if there was an opportunity, but that is your friend.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
need to go look for her.
Yeah, no,
That's
she
what-
was.
This is exactly how the Conjuring started.
No, but you
nice,
see,
talk about it later. One somebody's flying
I
across the
completely-
room.
I
Jerry
still
wants,
watch the
Jerry
latest
wants
Conjuring.
to meet
Very
her. So
No, I
that's why-
completely understand where Jerry is coming from because what Annie taught me was adventure was okay.
Yeah, for sure.
You see, he's still talking about Annie.
But then
It's
you
so
taught yourself
strange,
that
right?
lah.
Lewis, C.S. Lewis, go and
C.S.
have an adventure.
Yeah, yeah.
He wrote Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So it
He
was.
he was also on drugs when he wrote Alice in Wonderland, by the way.
Yeah,
How do you
can
think?
smile.
How do you think all those things became big and small whenever you eat something? It's
was
true.
that
He
why
was
my
on
teenage years
acid.
were like that?
And Jerry says you just spoiled it for her.
He was on acid. Did you
for
see
sure.
the caterpillar
The
and all
caterpillar always
that?
smoking
My
something,
God,
right?
yeah, he's
Yeah.
smoking. He was definitely on LSD.
And
Sorry,
then you wrote
sorry.
Narnia after that.
Fairy tales, and morals and values and things that we can teach the children. That's why fairy
Yeah.
tales are so, all these stories are so exciting. The children nowadays, have Harry Potter. I think it's all the wizardry and the, spirits and everything are really a different world that the children can learn different things.
I think when a child when someone's had an imaginary friend, you learn how to immerse yourself into a Harry Potter. I can immerse myself into Harry Potter.
It's
Yeah, I love fairy
escapism.
tales. Escapism. Yeah.
Escapism, yeah. Maybe that's what
What?
another word for it.
We're so close to Christmas. What about Santa Claus?
That is up for debate. Is Santa real or not?
Absolutely.
He's real.
Of course he is. He's
He's
standing
real.
right
He's
behind,
right behind me.
Right behind FD. Sure, he's real.
He's real.
Yes, Santa is
Oh,
real.
no. I had an argument with my kids, I think a couple of years ago, because they go, Santa's not real. And I go, Santa is real.
Oh my God, it's just the reverse.
That's why I thought the adult would be making the proper decision. Okay, never mind.
What do you mean proper decision?
For Christmas magic.
Didn't you ever grow up thinking Santa was real?
No, of course not.
Really?
No.
Oh,
I mean, he might be based off a real guy, like Saint Nick or something,
Yeah,
like that, right?
yeah.
But then, like, Mr. Fly across the world in one night,
No.
delivering presents. Why I never get anything?
oh.
Yeah, I faked believing in him
Because
for
you-
quite a number of years just to get the presents that I wanted.
But you know your parents.
And that applied to the Tooth Fairy as well.
Yeah, I just
Oh
want to
my
say,
God,
like, imagine the
Tooth
Tooth
Fairy.
Fairy. How morbid is that? Like, you put a piece of bone under your pillow and then your parents have to come and give you money for it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, so much fun
but that
though, the
was
Tooth
fun.
Fairy.
So
So
wretched.
much fun.
I'm like, first time I got like $2. I'm like, next
Why
day
your
I
Tooth
complained.
Fairy like
I
that?
complained to my mom. My
Inflation.
mom, $2 only.
Only everyone
And
got
then
$1, no.
when I put my other tooth
Yeah.
under a few weeks later, I got $5.
There you
Hey,
go.
your Tooth Fairy is spoiling market now.
Power of negotiation, you see, that's what the imaginary, fairy did for you. It encouraged you to
There you
learn
go.
how to negotiate.
Yeah, to ask for
So
more.
you
That's
believe in imaginary friends after all.
Uh-oh, Glenn.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay, going back.
I knew it was my mom. Poor FD, his timing was off just now. I'm surprised Annie didn't tell you.
Yeah. And he didn't tell me
talking
the
right
red
now.
card was up. What's the matter with you, Annie? Damn it. One job. I gave you one job.
We're on The Big Show and The Big Show TV with Dr. Geraldine Tan from the therapy room.
Okay, but this is what I wanted to say. Christmas. I don't know whether you've ever done this in your house, Jerry, but every Christmas was the same thing. We'd put up the Christmas tree, and there were no presents under the Christmas tree. Christmas Eve, my dad would dress up as Santa Claus, and at midnight he'd sneak into the house and he'd put
The presents.
presents under the Christmas tree. My mom would wake us up and hide us behind something like a couch or a chair
To
or something,
see this
and we
happening.
would sneak in to see Santa
Aw.
laying the Christmas gifts.
Oh, so lovely.
And no one questioned why dad is still sleeping.
No.
And some random stranger in your house.
It didn't matter to us, and that's why Santa Claus and Christmas was such a big thing.
Your parents were such good actors. What happened to you?
and that's where the song came from, right? I saw mommy kissing Santa Claus.
Actually, they were married.
There you go.
That's why.
Oh my gosh, when I found out the true meaning of that song, I'm like, what?
Yeah. It's like, come
she
on.
was kissing him because it was actually the father.
I know, yeah.
Children, close your ears now.
Yeah.
So much fun, though. I think it's great to grow up in a household like that where there is belief and there's fairy tales and there are traditions.
Yeah.
And it's great for children to grow up like that.
I think I want to let all parents know, right? Just let the imagination grow and flow. The whole idea about all these imaginary friends, Santa, fairy tales is really teaching the children to throw out hypothetical questions, to test certain hypotheses, to learn how to problem solve, to go outside and explore, be adventurous, and learn how to let their brains rest and not just study and study and get the next trophy or the next grade. just when the brain is just having that downtime, the brain becomes so much more creative.
Yeah.
I had Linda Carter on my wall.
Well, that was creative.
As Wonder Woman?
You know, why can't she like come to life right now? Just, you know.
That's fantasy more.
Wonder Woman!
When-
Not so much a fairy tale, a
Yeah.
fantasy. Yeah.
Another, you're talking about creativity. Another thing we used to do was we lived in a house. We were privileged. We lived in a house with a really big garden, and sometimes on a Sunday we would all go into the garden and lie down and look up at the sky.
Stars, yeah.
No, this is during the day.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And cloud watch. And what
Yeah.
animals and people did you see? And
Yeah.
I've done this with my kids.
Wasting time.
Glenn.
I've done this with my
No,
kids.
my mom
It's
grew
so
up like
much
that as
fun.
well, yeah.
It's so much fun.
This is before the
You
TV
guys
was
are
invented.
so
Yes.
therapeutic. Okay, I'm gonna date Shaun and Glenn. We're gonna lie down and we're gonna cloud watch.
Oh,
Oh,
very
bring my
good. Yes.
phone.
Hey,
No phones allowed.
anything for you. I mean, I would love to lie down next to you.
he's like, if your couch isn't available, I'll take the field.
Yeah.
Like Glenn needs a picnic mat under him. He's not gonna lay bare.
Sean,
on
let's do it.
Okay.
take the
Just
take the-
holla.
I have to bring my insect
These
repellent. or-
these are these are things I encourage people to do with their kids. I'm encouraging my children to do this with their children when they have them. Just to lie down, cloud watch, do simple things like that. It's so brilliant.
Yeah, I absolutely
brilliant.
agree.
Okay, we're talking to Dr. Geraldine Tan from the therapy room right here on the Big Show TV. I beg your pardon. Oh my goodness. We'll continue to talk to her, okay, while we take a listen to Fun featuring Janelle Monáe. Here's We Are Young on the Big Show, 1FM 91.3. Oh my god, I'm experiencing such a bad tongue day.
Imaginary
Alright.
cat got your tongue.
Dr. Jerry, any final
Linda Carter's
words?
got my tongue.
Yes,
Come on.
let's go with, we started with FD, now I'm gonna end with C.S. Lewis. Because fairy tales and imaginary friends give us so much hope. And he says, you are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream.
Yes.
Love it.
Yes.
So this Christmas, we're gonna set some goals and dream a new dream.
Oh,
Wonderful.
Awesome.
Thank you, Dr. Jerry. Merry Christmas ahead and have a great New Year.
Merry
We'll see you.
Christmas.
We'll see you in 2022.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.